CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder. I can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money podcast, where we show you how to grow your money and not blow your money, because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing. What's happening? Happy Friday. I am so excited to be here. You know, I'm trying to do multitask. I'm trying to do multiple things at once. I always love to talk to you about ways that you can grow your money. I try to come on here live every day to give you some type of value, whether it's some stuff that's going on in the news, whether it's politics, but everything that affects you, my people, my Black people, on how to, the bottom line is really create legacies, is to get into a better position, is to grow your money and not blow your money, is to build wealth. So today I'm going to be talking about 7 proven strategies to build generational wealth. And this has been taken. These are proven strategies that certain communities have adopted, and I just want to see us adopt them. They're not just 7 proven, but they're 7 simple strategies. They're not hard strategies that we're going to talk about. They're things that you can implement today. Okay. But before we get started, I want to just shout out everybody who's on here today. Thank you. What's up, Gino? What's up? What's happening? What's up, Maria Millhouse? B1. Yes. What's up, Booker? So Booker knows how to do it. So I know that we have people that are watching from all over the world. And so I need you, because this is the way this works for me. I feed off of you. I feed off your energy. I feed off of your interaction. I need you to talk back to me and talk Black to me. So just in the comments, go ahead and put in where you're watching from, because I just want to know. I mean, I want everybody to recognize you and say what's up to your fellow people, whatever stream that you're on, because we're on about 8 different platforms right now. So whatever stream you are on, say what's up to your people. Say what's up. Like if you're on with Radiance 05, I don't know where she's at. I don't know which platform she's on, a YouTube platform, but say what's up if you on the same stream as her. Booker. Because if you blow your money, ain't a damn thing funny. You already know what it is, baby. I see Gail from Compton, California. What's happening, Gail? I see Maria all the way from Texas, New Jersey representing. Okay. And I know we have some people internationally too. The other thing is, listen, and then we're going to talk about this. I always want to support Black-owned businesses, because it's important that we support each other. It's important that we practice collective economics. So if you have a Black-owned business, or if you know a Black-owned business, I want you to put it in the comments, because I want to make sure that you get the visibility that you need, because this podcast on different platforms ends up being watched by thousands and thousands of people. Can't wait to get to the millions, but the only way we get to the millions is if you share this information with your people. So let's get this. So make sure you share, because I'm going to give you something that you can use. The thing about wealth is the only way that we're going to get there is if we unify. I don't know if you've ever seen, J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America, number 1 threat to America, was Negro unity. That's their biggest problem. And so that's why you see all the things that are taking place nowadays. And so they don't want to see us unify, but we're going to do it anyway. But the way we do that is we share the knowledge, we share the wisdom, we share the information. That's the reason why I did the Net 7 Collective, is because there's an African proverb, and I believe this to be true, but listen, this is not anything against men. There's an African proverb that says, when you teach a man, you teach an individual, but when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. And I appreciate all the men that are on here that love to come on here, that engage and interact and all of those things. But I do believe that women are going not to only teach their kids, they're going to teach their communities. We're going to share, women, like we take things and we expand it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you give us food, we're going to make a meal. You give us a house, we're going to make a home. If you give us a seed, we're going to make a baby. We're going to enhance. The Net 7 Collective. And oh, by the way, I'm so excited because we have Net 7 Nations getting ready to come up. And so with the Net 7 Collective, I have coached over almost 80 Black women from all over the country and internationally. And so I'm really excited about that. These ladies are they're doing some amazing things in the world as a result of them being a part of this cohort. And so now we're extending it. we're expanding it. These ladies are increasing their net worth to over 7 figures. They are speaking, they are starting businesses, they're investing in real estate, stock, they have government contracts, like they are doing the damn thing. They're collaborating. And so now we are bringing it to cities across the nation where you'll be able to join a local chapter and interact with us on a local level and be able to go to local trainings and have virtual meetings and be able to have, easier access to Net 7. So let me just show you a little bit about what we're doing with the Net 7. There's nothing like being around women who see you, who support you, and who genuinely want to see you win. This is what Net 7 is all about. We celebrate each other, we build each other, we rise together. We're not just creating connections, we are creating legacy through wealth, through healing, through purpose, through real sisterhood. This is the nation. This is the movement. This is Net 7. This is exciting. This is so exciting. So let me tell you, because we're actually, the chapters are in the process. So let me tell you, and we're expanding. So these are the chapters that are starting off. So day one, you're going to see us open the doors in the next few weeks. But so far we got Houston, Dallas, Prince George's County, Baltimore, Alabama, Stockton, California, Sacramento, California, the Bay Area, Atlanta, Chicago, Las Vegas, Philly. Internationally, we have Europe and West Africa. Yes, already. So if you're in any of these areas, or even if you're not in any of the areas that I mentioned, tap in, because I want, if we don't have your area, we're going to end up adding your area, but we just want to know, if you are interested in being a part of it. And so let me see, it is Net 7 Nation. Tap into net7nation.com and you'll get information. And this is just an interest right now, because we're building out the back end and all that stuff. So the full website and all the information and all that stuff is not up yet. But this is an interest form, just to see your interest, if you're interested in joining and how we can serve you. And so ladies, this is all of us together. And that's the thing also about Net 7 is it's not about me. It's not about them. It's about all of us. It's a collaboration. So you get to be a part of a movement that's not just us teaching you. It's us brain sharing. It's the reciprocity. You're around women who want to see you win. Really, like these women want to see each other win. The reason why it's that way, the reason why it's so successful is because that's who I am. And as the leader, I set a standard. I don't play. I don't do mess. I don't do, discord. I do all camaraderie. And so when it comes, like, it's slow. So if it ever came to a point where everything was in a disarray, I would have to look at myself as the leader, because everything trickles down. Right. So I'm zero tolerance on BS, but I don't even have to worry about it, because I vet all the people before they even come in to make sure that they're a good fit for the community, because it's, when they come in, it's a safe space. Somebody said the other day, it's a vault. So when you share, it's right there in the vault. You don't have to worry about it. And so women are growing as a result. They're thinking outside the box. They come in thinking one thing, but they end up doing something totally different. They end up having something totally different that they may come up with just by virtue of the ideas, the brain share that they get from the other women inside the group. It's magical. It is delicious. And so when when we're talking, I look, and I'm gonna be transparent with you. Like, I'm in awe, because I'm like, yo, this is something that God placed in my spirit to do so that I can pour into other women, but to see the fruition and the manifestation that's happening. And I'm just like looking at these women in amazement, like they're doing some really amazing things in the world. Like, these women are moguls. Some are moguls in the making. Like, they're doing it. So that's what I want to do for Black women all over the country, all over the world. You see, we have Africa and Europe also. So this is what we want to do for Black women all over the world. So it's not anything that's super classist or, elitist or anything like that. I just want to help Black women. I want to help our community, period. But my contribution to closing this wealth gap is through Black women. So go ahead, go to net7nation.com, complete the form. You'll get an email follow up just to tell you, listen, we're going to keep you posted on the things, but we're working things out. And the women who are in these areas that are going to be leading these local chapters, they're really excited about pouring into you as well. So it's going to be dope. I do want to shout out the business owners I seen over here. I seen Patricia Washington, 3D Wellness Atlanta Black Acupuncture Clinic. Yes, auntie. Here's the other thing though, Patricia. I need you to put how they can get in contact with you. So if you have a website or if you have an Instagram, whatever it is. So when you put your Black owned business on here, I want to make sure that you put where they can find you, because I want people to do business with you. So I want to get you the visibility, but I also want them to be able to do business with you. And if this is your first time on here, anybody, let me know this is your first time. Deborah, I had no idea that you were from New York. All this time we've been friends on YouTube, and I didn't even know you was in New York. That's interesting. Okay. So Patricia is from Atlanta. We got Radiant from VA. Okay, that's what's up. Okay, Sharon, thank you. Travel Oasis. Oh my God, I'm a little remedial with my reading today. Travel Oasis with Sharon. Make sure you go and you follow her. All right. Carla, she's in Metro Atlanta. Carla, the hair loss and wellness coach. So you obviously have a business. Carla, how do they find you? There are a lot of Black women who are losing their hair and they need wellness. How do we find you? Okay. I see Nuptials by Sharon. Also, she's a New Jersey wedding officiant. Doing it. Y'all doing it. I love that. Okay. So good morning, Naomi. This is all about building your Black business, creating generational wealth. This is important. So I need you to take a moment and share this on your timelines with your friends, with your family. Tell them to come on in and join us, because this information is critical, crucial to us being able to create legacies and trusts and dynasty trusts. We want to get to a place where we're like Rockefeller, and we want to create dynasty trusts that last hundreds of years and multi-generational generations. We don't want to be the one generation. We listen, we building wealth. Y'all building wealth. If you're not wealthy right now, you will be wealthy. Why? Okay. So I didn't even think about this. So I'm gonna give you 7 proven strategies, but let me give you 8. And let me give you the first one. And this is really important. And this is what I teach the people. This is the first thing foundationally that I teach the women. So in these 7 foundational things, the first thing, this is the steps, the key steps to getting any goal. Okay. This wasn't even part of what I was going to tell you. And I want you to write this down. Thank you. Okay, Sharon. Loan sign. Gosh, Sharon, how many businesses do you got, lady? I love it. Serial entrepreneur. What's up, Darlene? At office, getting my hustle on. I love it. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have a vision. Okay. The Bible says, without a vision, my people perish. So if we're talking about generational wealth, what does that vision for generational wealth look like? What do you see yourself being in that space of having generational wealth? What does that look like for you? Is it money in the bank? Is it creating a business? Is it passing a business? What does generational wealth look like for you? So the first step is having a vision for your generational wealth. So number 1, think it. I want you to put this in the comments. Think it. Whoever's watching, I want you to put that in the comments. Think it. Okay. Your generational wealth. Think it. Have a vision for it. Okay. The second thing, and this is not even part of the 7 proven strategies. This is the 8th one, but I want to start with this because I talk about it in all of my books. You'll see these 5 steps to success. Okay. In all of my trainings too. And if you're not on the Grow Your Money Club, you need to be in the Grow Your Money Club. Thank you, Sharon. So think it. All right. Vision, think it. Yes. Lovely, JR. The second is write it. The Bible says, write down the vision and make it plain. So if you have a vision for your life, you see what that looks like. Now you're going to make that plan. You're going to write down the vision. So I write down my vision in my phone, and I have goals, strategies, all of that stuff from 12 years ago. As long as I've had this iPhone, as long as there's been an iCloud on here. So I can go back in 2019 and see what my goals and my visions were. Write down the vision and make it plain. Yes. Think it. Number two, write it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The third is you have to speak your vision. Why? Because life and death are in the power of the tongue. See, if you can think it, if you can see it in your mind and you can hold it in your hand, and then you start to write it and you speak it, you're speaking life over your life. So whatever that looks like, ladies and gentlemen, speaking life over your life is everything. Because you think about this, you set the tone for your day every single day by the things that come out of your mouth, by the things you think and what comes out of your mouth. So if I got up and I'm like, oh, it's going to be a fucked up day. Excuse my language. And daddy, if you're watching, sorry. It's going to be a really messed up day. All right. So I'm already thinking it's going to be a messed up day because it's Monday. I get up, I stub my toe. Stub my toe. See, I knew it was going to be a fucked up day. I already spoke that into existence. Got in the shower, a little bit too hot. Or like me yesterday, I got in the shower, I'm getting ready to shower, nice and warm. I turn around, get ready to bathe, the soap gone. These raggedy ass kids. I did a post yesterday on Facebook and I said, wait, where is that post? It was like, there will be a time when I'm in the shower. Wait, what did I say? This is funny, so I got to say this real quick. There's going to be a time when I'm in a nice warm shower and I turn around to bathe and there's soap still the soap is still there. There's going to be a time when I pull out my deodorant and it's not broken into pieces. There's going to be a time when I open up the refrigerator and there's not a drop left. There's not a drop left in the juice container. There's going to be a time when I'll have to clean up crumbs off the counters. And then I hashtag FTK if y'all know what FTK is. There's going to be a time when. But anyway, if you get in the shower and say you turn around and there's no soap and you're like, damn. And then you go to the kitchen and you get your coffee. The coffee's too hot and you burn your tongue. You're like, I knew it's going to be a f***ed day. You just spoke that over your life when you got up. So you have to prime your mind going in of what kind of day it's going to be, no matter what kind of day it is. You have to change your heart and then change the things that come out of your mouth. I have these shirts like on my site. It's called Conversation Tees. And I sell different shirts with different things on them, right? So this shirt says, love hard, love God, hustle hard, live good. But I also have a shirt that says, speak life. Your words are prophetic. The things you say will happen because it is so. So you got to speak it. The third thing you need to do is work it. Why? Because faith without works is what? Is dead. So you could have all these things you could speak and, think about it and write it down. But if you ain't putting no effort into it, it's not going to happen. It's just like you thinking, oh, you laying in the bed. I'm going to be a millionaire one day. I'm writing down my goals. And when I become a millionaire, I'm going to give my mama $1 million. I'm going to give my sister $1 million. I'm going to give my daddy $1 million. But you ain't did nothing to get the $1 million. Okay. You writing it down, you thought about it, you got a plan of all the things you're gonna do when you get it. But if you're not working it, you're not gonna get it. See, the think, the write, the speak, that's the vehicle. But the work is the gas. That's the fuel that's gonna get you there. Okay. And then the fourth is receive it. That's the manifestation. And so I don't know if you noticed that all of these were based upon biblical principles and biblical scriptures. And so one of my favorite scriptures is, don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season, you will reap your harvest if you faint not. A lot of people forget that last part. They just say, don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season, you'll reap your harvest. The other part is if you faint not. Because there's going to be some ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, all of those things that happen that, you're like, that make you doubt yourself. Is this what I was supposed to be doing? Is this really real? What's going on? There's going to be times when you doubt yourself. And so because of that, you have to continue to fight through if you faint not. So we're talking about generational wealth for your family. Okay. So if you want to have generational wealth for your family, and oh, by the way, make sure you heart, like, share, subscribe, all that other stuff, and share this out to everybody, because these are proven strategies that have helped a lot of communities. And these are secrets, and they're simple secrets that we all can adopt. Okay. So share this with your friends, with your family, and all that. Let them know that they need this. So does anybody in the comments? I just told you the 5 steps. Can anybody name them before I go on? Can anybody name the secrets? The 5 things, not the secrets, the 5 steps to success that I just named. All 5 of them. Oh, I need that Jeopardy thing. Somebody put it in the comments. I'm gonna wait. All 5. Yep. Darlene said Habakkuk 2 and 2. Write down the vision and make it plain. All 5. Come on, somebody. Y'all want to go to the next part? I need the 5. Were you guys listening? I see y'all. Look at, I see the individuals ones. I see, but I want to. Okay, here we go, Maria. Have a vision. Write it. Speak it. Work. Ding, 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 ding. Maria, real talk. Give me your address. I'm going to send you one of my books. So Maria, DM me your address and I'm going to send you one of my books. I'm not sure which one. You tell me. Do this. DM me your address on Instagram at I am Constance Carter and tell me which one of my books you want. And I'm going to send you one of my books. All right. Bet. All right. Bet. DM me. Think it, write it, speak it, work it, receive it. Thank you, Tamisha. Runner up. I appreciate it. All right, so let's get to the 7 proven strategies to build generational wealth. The 7 proven strategies. And Maria, blame my head, not my heart. If I'm not following you, it's not going to pop up in my DMs, but I'm going to try to do it right now. That way, after I'm done, I'll go look, and because it doesn't alert me if I'm not already following you. So it'll go into the other. You guys know, if you're on Instagram, it goes to the other inbox, and I won't even know, because sometimes I'll check it in a month, and then it'll be like, oh shoot, people DM me, So the 7 proven strategies. All right. So I need you to understand generational wealth is not a dream. It's a strategy. There are things that you need to do to get there. And too many of us are working hard to build income. And so I need you to focus on building wealth that lasts. And let me tell you, wealth doesn't just transfer, it transforms. You want to make sure that your kids don't start out where you start out. So my children won't be like my dad had, my parents bought property, but when I was growing up, we were renting. So when I was really little, they bought property. And then when I was a teen, after my parents divorced or separated, whatever, my dad had a house. But really not many people in my family's purchased property until I started purchasing property. And so I was kind of like, there was nobody to help me. So for me, my kids are not starting out where I started because they have property. So at least my older two has, my son has a property. My daughter, she's owned 2. She has 1 currently, but she's owned 2. And then she's 20, she'll be 26 next week. She had her second by the time she was 22. My son had his property when he was 18. And then my other son, my middle son, I was telling him the other day, next year, in your 3rd year at Jackson, we're purchasing him a property. And so how we gonna do it is, I told you to get some buddies. We'll get you a 3-bedroom house, and I'm gonna buy you a property, and then they'll pay the mortgage. And then once you graduate, I'll give you the keys, and then you're managing it. So I'll manage it while he's in school, and then I'll do that for my 4th. So all my children will not start off in this world like I did. And so that's really what you want to do, is you want to you want to make sure that your generational wealth transforms. Okay. So let me give you the 7 strategies. Okay. So first one, It's not hard, it's simple. We got to educate ourselves. Easy, right? I'm not talking about rocket science. Education is your foundation. So if we look at the Jewish culture, they prioritize education as non-negotiable. Okay, knowledge is the ultimate wealth transfer. We have to be not only educating ourselves. See, a lot of us are winging it. I've talked about this before. We're playing it by ear because we weren't taught, these strategies. And so, just by virtue of you being on here, by virtue of you investing in different things to grow your mind mentally, you're educating yourself. Okay, so continue. You don't need a college degree to get educated. Google University can educate you. Invest in your mind, in your thought process, and then invest in your children. And so make sure that they really, 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 really understand that they have to, education is key. Having those conversations with them about money. They may know, because my kids, literally, they're on TikTok all day. So there's a lot of shit that they know about more than I do. I have no idea about the crazy, the mindless things. When my kids were talking the other day, we were at dinner. Not we were at dinner. We were at home, and my youngest son, ever since he was little, he gets obsessed with things. So whatever he latches onto, he gets obsessed with it. So like he used to be obsessed with Yo Gabba Gabba, right? Everything was Yo Gabba Gabba. When he liked Thomas, everything was Thomas the Train. So then I remember when he was like, when the New Edition movie came out, he was obsessed with New Edition. Everything, he knew everything about every member of New Edition. He's in like junior high school, maybe elementary school. Every single thing. He's 16 now. Everything about New Edition. So now he's obsessed with Michael Jackson. So yesterday, 2 days ago, he came in. He said, guess who died 10 years ago or 15 years ago? Of course, I already knew because he's obsessed with Michael Jackson, right? And so he knows every single detail, songs that I had never even heard that Michael Jackson did. He knows all the bit, but also he loves planes. So he always talks about like just random shit about planes and flights and all that stuff. Like stuff that, did you know that the engine, whatever, like, okay. So he's always telling us random facts about planes. And so we were at dinner and he said something about, because, I think, was there a plane crash? Oh, there was a plane crash, whatever. And so my other son said, Camille, you should probably be a pilot. And I don't even think it had occurred to him that he should be a pilot. And he was like, because my son goes to Hampton. He was like, Hampton has an aviation program. You should probably go to Hampton and be a pilot. And then it was like the light bulbs went off for him. And these are conversations, again, that we had at the dinner table because we're talking about, things that we like. I'm listening to these random facts. And then his brother's like, you should try, So having these critical conversations at dinner, educating, right? So you may not be as educated as your children are on some things because there's so much information out there on the internet. They might know more about financial literacy than you do. But continue to, don't look at that as because a lot of it's mindless shit. A lot of things that they're scrolling is mindless because they talk about dumb shit too. But I want you to hone in on the things that's educating them on things and just, kind of like, what is it that you like? Okay, what is it? What about that is that you like? And then encourage them in that way. And so now this is the son that don't really talk, right? So all my other kids, they tell me everything more than I want to know. But my youngest son, he's still trying to pull his teeth to get some stuff out of him. But now I'm hearing him talk about stuff about being pilots. And it's just because of the dialogue that we had at the dinner table. So investing in the knowledge for yourself, but also having those critical conversations with your children. Dia said, education is the new currency. That is 100% true because they can never take away your education from you. The thing about it is when you're educated, right? I talked the other day about how 85% of athletes end up going bankrupt within 5 years. Well, football players within 5 years after retirement. It's because the only way that they know how to build wealth is through, or to get rich is through their sport. They don't have any other financial literacy. Their financial IQ was very low. So compare that to somebody who built a successful business and lost it all. So I had few days ago, I had four of the ladies from Net 7 on here, and they were talking about starting over after 50. And one of the ladies, Kaswana, she was saying how she lost it all twice. And what she wrote in this book. So we all wrote a book called Unbreakable. And she wrote that in this book about how she lost it all twice and had to rebuild twice. So for her, because she did it from the ground up, she knew how to get that money again. She knew how to build that business again. So to your point, education is something that you cannot take away from anybody. You could take away all my money. IRS could come and get all my money. You could take away all my houses, right? So when I went through a divorce, I lost $1 million that year. But I was able to make that back the next year, because what you couldn't, you may be able to take away my money, but you can't take away what I have here. Okay. So education is the new currency. All right. Y'all rocking? Y'all got it? So number one, education as a foundation. Number two, you got to be willing to take risks. Calculated risks, no less. But taking risks are important. What does that mean? You have to get uncomfortable. And a lot of people, only 1% of the people around the world are willing to do things that are uncomfortable, because we're afraid of what may happen, the failure that may happen. But the only way that we're going to grow is if we get uncomfortable, is if we take a risk, a calculated risk, no less. Like, don't go all balls out on some shit that you're not sure of, right? But you want to look, you want to research, you want to study, but jump out there. Stop second guessing yourself, because then you put yourself in a prison, a mental prison, and there's no growth in being in a prison. So be willing to take a risk. Suppose you were on a cliff and you're like, oh, you was double dutching to jump. You're like, if I jump, I might fall. But suppose you jumped and then you gained wings and you started flying. Don't be afraid to take, but you know, you got to know them wings going to be there, right? if it's in, like some things that are possible. And that's just an analogy. Is you betting on yourself and taking calculated risks. That is what's going to get you to the next level. The problem is most people aren't willing to take any kind of risks. Most of us play it safe. And playing it safe is cool, but it's not going to get you to that place of wealth. It's not going to get you to those big, hairy, audacious goals. It's just going to get you enough. And if enough is cool with you, that's fine. But don't say you want to build sustainable generational wealth if you're playing it safe. So you got to be willing to take risks. Calculated risks, no less. Okay? Y'all rocking with me? All right. So number 3, we have to, this is the biggie. Well, no. I'm not. I'll do that one last. You have to be able to protect your assets. Okay. So as you're building wealth and you're building generational wealth, and I talk about this all the time, as you're building generational wealth, we're missing out on opportunities to really pass it because we're not protecting it. Okay. So 2 things that we must do. Whether we have assets or not, whether you have a home or not, you need to have insurance. That is extremely important. It is a sin before God if you die and you leave your children in debt. The Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children. That's wisdom. I know people that say, you know what, listen, I made this and I'm spending it all up. My kids got to get it like I did. And if that's your principles, I'm not here to argue with you on that. I want to talk to the people who want to leave generational wealth for their families because they understand it goes beyond them. For people who want to give their kids a head start. Black people, we already have a deficit. We have a 400-year deficit. We just got in the game about 50 years ago. Now, somebody said, oh, Constance, we was buying houses back in the 1800s. We were, in spite of, right? So we got a little bit of land, but then they took it back. And then we would build our communities, and then they would destroy them. And then we would try to purchase houses, but then there was redlining. And then then we would get into these homes, and then there was predatory lending, right? So we take us 2 steps forward, and they push us 10 steps backwards. So we have all this in spite of. Black people, I always say, give yourselves a round of applause, because even though we've had all of these setbacks, not by our own, and we have to stop adopting that, but because of outside forces, because we've tried, and we are still trying because we're resilient. Still 45, almost half of us are homeowners. So give yourselves a round of applause, because in spite of all those things that I just mentioned, you're still homeowners. But the thing about it is you have to protect your assets. 90% of wealth in this country is generated through real estate. 90% is passed intergenerationally. 80% is passed through real estate. So if you don't have any real estate to pass, that's the first thing. But if you have the real estate, make sure you're passing it seamlessly. Set up your living trust. Have your wills in place, and make sure that you have some type of insurance to protect, so that you can leave some type of something for your children. They shouldn't be scrambling to bury you. They should know where your information is. And again, I try to see where the needs are, and I have all this. So on my website, constancecarter.com, I have a free download. I don't make no money on it. It's called the Personal Information Organizer. Go on my website, go to constancecarter.com, go to books, and go to the Personal Information Organizer. What that is it's just a downloadable. You can download it and you fill it out. It's for you. You can fill it out electronically, send it to your loved ones. That way they will know where all your stuff is should you die all of a sudden. Okay? They know what your passwords are. They know where your insurance is. They know where your trust documents are. They know where everything is, so they're not scrambling. Okay? So download the Personal Information Organizer. That's for you. Boom, free. And then for those of you who own homes and you need a living trust, I did a ebook called Make My Living Trust. Let's see, Make My Living Trust, and you go to makemylivingtrust.com. And where's that at? That's on my web, but makemylivingtrust.com. $20. It's a quick download. Why did I make it $20? Because it was easy for me to do. What I did is I took my $3,000 living trust, because when I moved, I had to recreate, I had to update my living trust. I took it. I used ChatGPT to update my living trust, so I didn't have to pay an attorney another amount of money to update it. But I also show you how to create an ironclad legal living trust, how to record it, all the legal jargon that you need to have for your unique particular state, all of that. So go to makemylivingtrust.com. It's $20. Okay. So now you're not stuck with your pants down. But these are things you must do if you want to really build and pass your generational wealth. You do not want your wealth to be one generational. Okay. Booker said, put people who you can trust on your trust. That is real. And I'm going to tell you a story about that. I had a client that came to me, and she was, her dad died like 20 years before that. And her dad had a bunch of properties and a bunch of money. And she was young when he died, and she was his only child. She was really young. I think she was a teenager. She was in her early 20s. So he put this attorney over the trust. When she came to me and she wanted to buy this property, she was like, I got money in my trust, but I don't know how much. This attorney was hoarding her money. Who knows? It didn't give her an accounting for her money, didn't tell her how much it was, and then had the nerve when she wanted to buy another property, because she had all these properties in Oakland, then had the nerve to tell her he didn't want to give her money. She had hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. We don't even know where she started off with how much money, because there was never any accounting. Then he dies. Now his son takes over her account. Her son goes out and charges her $10,000 for some insurance that she didn't ask for. So her dad thought that he could trust this attorney, but I believe that they squandered her money. And because she was not educated on that, and I was telling her, girl, you better, and she was like, nah, I don't want to, I don't, because he was acting like that was his money. That's how he was treating her. At this point, the lady is 50 something years old. She's like, he had all of her stuff for over 30 years. This lady's over 50 something, and she was afraid to ask the attorney for her money. And when she did, he got an attitude. So to your point, Booker, get somebody you trust over your trust. But, I believe that her father thought that he could trust this attorney. And I really believe wholeheartedly that this attorney squandered her money. If you're not willing to give me an accounting for my money, then something is going on. Okay. So make sure that you protect your assets so that it could pass seamlessly. Okay. Number 4 is be economical. And I talk about this in my book, The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code. The E in Breaking the Broke Code. The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code. Let me see, where is it? The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code. If you don't have one of my books, The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code, I like to do acronyms. And so The Secret to Breaking the Broke Code, this is an acronym. But being economical. What do I mean about being economical? Be frugal on the things that you need to be frugal about. Okay. Delayed gratification is important. So spend a little so that you can invest in the things that are important, so that you can invest in the big things. So one of the things for me, and I'll just give you my personal experience or my personal testimony. So I filed bankruptcy in 2009. I had 379 credit score, filed bankruptcy, but I was making almost $250,000 a year at that point, right? So I'm making almost $250,000 every year, and I filed bankruptcy. 2009, 2010, I started Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, went on to become the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California. But 2008 was when that foreclosure crisis really hit, and I'm in Stockton, California, the epicenter for foreclosures. We are number 1 in foreclosures across the country. I am one of the largest foreclosure brokers, the REO brokers in the area. So I'm selling like 300 properties a year. So I'm selling all these properties, but yet I still have more month than money. And I'm seeing all these properties go from $400,000 down to $100,000, and I could not partake. And it was killing me because I have more month than money. So while I am selling these properties, my house is also in the REO on the REO list. It was crazy. It was all of these contradictions at the time, and I wasn't out there touting that I was, I had all this money. It just was what it was. So I was the same as everybody else. I was making all this money, but I didn't have any money left over at the end of the month. I'm the same as a person making $50,000 or $40,000. If I ain't got no money to save, that doesn't mean, it just means that I'm spending more money, but it doesn't put me in a better position. So I couldn't invest when those opportunities came up. And so I vowed that I would never be in a position where there was an opportunity that presented itself to me that I really wanted to have, that I couldn't do it. And I was intentional about investing in marijuana. Like I really wanted to get into the game. And somebody called me out the blue, was like, yo, I got a line on the marijuana dispensary. What's happening? You want to invest? And I wrote a 6-figure check. I was like, what I need to do. And they told me, we saw the prospectus and all of that stuff. And I wrote a 6-figure check, and I became an investor in a dispensary. Now that money is money that I use to invest in my children. That part goes into permanent life insurance policy that generates compound interest, all those things. But be frugal about the things that don't matter. The thing about us sometimes is we like to wear our money. Wealth is quiet. Okay. We don't want to be hood rich. We want to be wealthy for real. And so you see that, wealth, instead of buying that Mercedes, you might want to buy that Camry. Instead of buying the Lexus, you might buy the Camry. But then you're investing in things that are going to give you money back. So make those types, think frugally. You ain't got to wear your money. Or I'm sacrificing right now. I know I ain't got it, but I'm not gonna party right now. I want you to enjoy yourself. I'm not gonna do this. I want to sacrifice right now because I know that it's gonna be greater later. And so if you can think frugality now, and then you can make bigger investments later. Okay. So master your money management mindset, delayed gratification, frugality where necessary, and put money in the things that are going to make you money. Now, I tell the story all the time. Like when I moved down here, I wanted to rent for a year. I rented for 2 years. I am always very conscious or cognizant about putting my money in places that are going to grow. Renting a home does not grow my money, but I was willing to sacrifice $48,000 to rent just so I could get a lay of the land. I ended up renting for 2 years and 2 months. That's over $100,000. I wasn't willing to do that. So that makes me stick to my stomach to this day. For me, that was a bad decision because I still could have bought something during that first year. I could have, but hindsight being 2020, for me now, I'm looking at it, I should have went ahead and bought. But I was like, I just want to see what, those things. So think about, ways that you can work, places you can put your money where you can grow it. The next thing is, let me see. I don't know why people get on here and say happy birthday. That's so weird to me. The other thing is, what was the other thing? Yes. So money talks and bullshit walks. So the reason why you see when we have when we're talking about voting, the reason why Asian people have the lowest voter turnout and they are most insulated and least affected by a lot of policies that are put into place is because they put their money where their mouth is. Okay. So what do I mean? I mean, a couple of things. I mean, get engaged locally on a local level in your local organizations, whether that's being in politics. And I'm not saying you got to be a politician, but get to know, go to your city council meetings. If you are in an area, get on some type of board or commission. Now, I was in a leadership organization back in 2013. It was called the Nehemiah Emerging Leaders Programs. And this was leaders from the Sacramento area that were way more accomplished than I was. Like I was the one who was, the only one who had no college degree, and they had all these prestigious jobs. And I just owned a real estate company. I made more than everybody, but I didn't have a prestigious title like everybody else. But one of the things that we learned and what was really drilled into us was about civic engagement and how important it is. So if you can get on a board or a commission, that will take you places that money can't. Case in point, when I was renting the house that I was renting, go back to that. When I was renting the house that I rented out here, now the reason why I had ended up paying over the amount that they were asking for rent, because I had got beat out. I got beat out. And so the guy that I ended up was the agent for the property that I was renting, ended up getting in contract like that. So I saw the listing. I was taking a red eye out here like once a week, and I ended up getting here at 6 a.m. I was in contract by 12. But the reason why I got the property, not just because of what I offered, but it was because I knew the owner of the company. I knew the owner of the largest Black-owned real estate company in the country. And one of the things he said, the guy who I know, Emmerich Peace, he teaches this to his agents. And this is what his agent repeated back to me. He said, relationships will take you places that money can't. I'm going to repeat that. Relationships will take you places that money can't. What does that mean? Sometimes there is non-monetary compensation. Sometimes just by virtue of you being in the room or you being on a board or commission. So, like I said, we were drilled into get on a board, get on a commission, because these are relationships and these are people that you would not normally meet on a regular basis. I was on a few boards, but before I left California, I was on the YMCA board, and it was like socialites, attorneys. It was like watching paint dry. I was around all these people that I had no desire to be around. It was just like, for me, it was like watching paint dry. Nobody looked like me. Nobody was my age. So I was like, some bullshit. But I was able to establish relationships with these people that I would normally never come in contact with. So getting into different places where you're not normally are. Get on a board. Get on a YMCA board. Get on the county board. Get on a board in the county. Get on a planning commission. You're going to meet people that you've never ever met, and they're going to be able to show you some things that you never thought that you would know. And then it puts you in position to have economic power and say so and influence. Okay? And so then those causes, you can use those causes or causes that benefit you in your community. You can make sure that people are advocating for those. Okay? Albert, it is not my birthday. My birthday is February 23rd. The sixth thing is succession. So one thing that the Jewish community, for example, teaches is they like, you don't got no choice. Either you're gonna be a doctor, lawyer, you're gonna take over the family business. That's it. Either you're gonna be a doctor, lawyer, accountant, or you're gonna take over the family business. And so you're gonna go to school to learn whatever the family business is because you're gonna get that education. Or you're gonna be some type of prominent, attorney. You notice there's a lot of Jewish people that are attorneys. That's important. What we need to teach our children is succession. So as we are building our businesses, we need to ingrain our children in being a part of our business. My daughter told me the other day, she's in Carousel right now, but she told me the other day, she said, Mom, I was in the shower and I was just like grateful. And I said, why? And she said, Mom, you set me up in a position that most people could only dream of. And I was like, thank you. Like, I was like, okay. So I've groomed my daughter. Now, when she first got into college, she was like, I don't want to do none of that shit that my mama do. And everybody was telling her, yo, your mama already got everything established. You better. And she was like, I want to forge my own path. But now she's like, you created a path for me to walk into. Got real estate property. Showing her how to build her real estate business. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grooming her inside the business to take over. She works right now she works for a co-working space. I own a co-working space in Sacramento, beautiful building. And so I told her, she, like I said, she'd be going through all the little things. And I'm like, no, this is school for you, baby, because we about to own another one. And I need you to learn this is all purposed, all God purposed. So I need you to learn everything you can, good, bad, and ugly, because you are going to own one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm priming and I'm preparing my children in the succession of the business. Now, my oldest son, he's like, yeah, Mom, I want to do my own thing. Okay. He may come back, he may not, but what he will be is a lawyer, or he'll be in finance in some way. Those are his majors. He's a finance major on the pre-law track. So he's going to do something. And then he's going to work in a business where he's taking care of the finances. He'll be the CFO or something. I don't know. We'll try to get him back in. And then my middle son, he's like, I think I might want to do that, Mama. So I'm grooming them all to be a part of the business. I set the foundation. They're going to take it to the next level. So make sure that you have a succession if you're building a business for your children and your children's children. Okay. And lastly, it's the most important thing. Collective economics. Practice collective economics. I talk about that every single day. It is extremely important that we are practicing collective economics. Again, J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to him, the number one threat, was the rise of the Black Messiah and Negro unity. Now let that sink in. What does that mean if we are unified, we're working together, we're building together? They still may do everything they can to tear it down, but that's okay because we still rise, we still work, we still build. So let's work together. Let's take off that negative narrative about what we don't do, how we don't work together, because we do. That's what they said about us. They said we were lazy, but yet we spent 400 years working it for free. They said we were lazy, and then our people were sharecroppers, where they underpaid us and they kept us indebted to them. They said we were lazy. And then we started saying that we were lazy when we're really not lazy. Do you know the handouts that they've gotten from the beginning existence of this country that we have not gotten? I'm gonna tell you, actually, I did a post the other day. I'm gonna tell you, I did a post the other day on my Facebook page. And if you're not following my business Facebook page, please follow my business Facebook page. Oh, by the way, it's I Am Constance Carter. But let me just tell you, I'm gonna tell you the government handouts that they've gotten over the years, and it's been quite a few. And it's not just the Homestead Act of 1862. Where is it at? I post a lot on this page, huh? Oh, okay, here it is. Oh, I got some graphics. I forgot it was graphics. So let me show y'all the handouts that they have gotten that we have not been afforded. Okay. So let's talk about, this is white welfare in America. They gave away $270 million of acres, 270 million acres of land to white people. The Southern Homestead Act of 1866 aimed to give freedmen access to land post-slavery. 95% of the applicants were white. So this was for us, but it wasn't given to us because Black applicants were denied. So the Southern Homestead Act of 1866 was for us, but weren't given to us. Then you have the GI Bill, which was for all veterans. But what happened? Black people couldn't get it. Then you have FHA loans starting in 1934. 90% of FHA loans went to white people. That's when they had redlining. They wouldn't finance homes in Black neighborhoods. And then you have the New Deal, President Roosevelt. And the New Deal was for Social Security, but they would not give it to domestic workers or agricultural workers, which were mostly Black at the time. And then you have the land grant, and that's for colleges of 1862 and 1890. You see the pattern here? They funded white colleges, still happening today. I think they just discovered in Florida, where they were supposed to be, the state of Florida was supposed to be funding HBCUs, and they were not funding HBCUs that they were supposed to be. And the funding, of course, was not nearly as much as the white colleges, but they weren't even doing what they were supposed to be doing. And then you have the subsidized suburbs. So, when you had white flight and Black folks left these white communities, these white people left this, the inner cities or the cities, and they moved to the suburbs. Black families couldn't go. Black families were redlined out. And then there was agricultural subsidies, where white farmers received subsidies that they would not give to Black farmers. And that's the reason why we have a 90% loss of Black-owned farmland over the last century. And then you have the Pensions Act. It's a lot. So when they talk about handouts, because you will have a lot of white people on my page, and they come on, them trolls, I call them roaches. They be on my page. They talk shit. I think somebody called me a bitch yesterday. They like all kind of stuff. And they say, we're not giving you no handouts. We are not the biggest benefactors of the handouts. They have continued to get handouts. So you have the Pension Act of the 1920s. Okay. So even though, in spite of all of these things, yet still resilient. But this is why it's more important, more than ever, Black people, that we work together, that we unify, that we take that negative talk. That's why I do things like the Net 7 Collective, right? It's because there's no negativity. We're all there to build one another. We are all there to support one another. This is how we have to be on a grand level with our people. We I grew up in San Jose, Asian city. We used to laugh at them Asians because they was 20 deep in the house. We used to laugh like, ah, them motherfuckers, they own San Jose now. San Jose is a little Vietnam because they knew and they understood the importance of coming together for a common purpose. So we have to think, be one, okay, like they do, community first. How do we build? Okay, I'm always going to do business with Black people first, always. And I've always been that way. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to ever do business with Black people again. I know we've all heard, I don't do business with Black people. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Stupidest, dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. But if one Black business messes up, you give them constructive feedback. You don't slander and all that. You give them constructive feedback. Tell them what they can do better. And if they don't receive it, you just don't do business with them no more. Period. Pooh. That's it. Okay? But continue to think be one. Continue to think Black first. That's important. That's the only way we're going to get out of this rut. They are intentionally doing things to try to destroy us. They can't be as blatant as they were before. We're much more educated. We're much more moneyed, much more knowledgeable. The world is watching. So they're doing all of this in plain sight, but they can't do it on the levels that they did before. So they're going to try to do other things to try to destroy us. And so we just have to make sure that we unify, because that's the thing that they don't want. And I think what they don't realize is that by them doing all the things that they're doing, it is unifying us. It is bringing us together to say, yo, they're not looking out. They've done a great job with this propaganda, this division, this divide and conquer. Started on the slave plantations, Willie Lynch, separating the light skin versus the dark skin, and the old against the young, and the house against the field. And then we adopted that. You know, we started the boule, and we had the brown paper bag test, that if you were lighter than a brown paper bag, you can go here, and if you weren't, you can't. Then we started adopting that colorism, that internal racism that we had. And then we started doing the crabs in the barrel type of shit. But when we know, I won't say anybody's our enemy, but when we know that our enemy is not us, and we start looking to each other first, that's when we're going to see real movement. That's when we're going to see real change. What's up, Terrence Carter? Okay. So we got to be smarter. We got to do this. We got to move strategically. And we got to be intentional about working with each other, about building with each other. We got to be intentional about that thing. That's how we build true generational wealth. So these 7 proven strategies to build wealth, they're proven because this is what other communities do. They practice collective economics. They teach their children. They have a succession plan. They're frugal. They invest in themselves. They invest in the knowledge. They do all of those things. We just have to adopt. They're simple. Adopt these same things, implement. And then you have the reason why I'm doing the Net 7 nations is because now I have the Net 7 Collective, which is, you know, these are groups that I coach. These are Black women I coach from all over the country, right? So this is every week we get together, and every other week we do what's called study hall. So I get together with these ladies, and then I do study hall, where whatever strategy that I teach them, now we're implementing. So I am invested. But Net 7 Nations is where we can go on a grassroots level and we can create sales all over the place. Now, if we have sales and we can infiltrate those sales and we can start to unify on a grassroots level, where we're teaching Black women how to build, how to connect, how to grow, how to work together, how to invest together, Unstoppable. That's what we're doing. That's the reason why I did that. So whether you want to be a part of Net 7 Collective, which is you being a part of the more the inner circle of the women that I coach directly, or you want to be a part of Net 7 Nation, where you're a part of what we're doing in those cities and those local cities, making a difference and an impact in those local cities. If you're part of Net 7 Collective, you're also part of Net 7 Nation. But if you're part of Net 7 Nation, it doesn't necessarily mean you're part of Net 7 Collective, because those are two very different things. But either way, my goal is to infiltrate and effectuate change so that you and all of your friends and all of your family can really create legacies. And if you just joined, and let me just show you a little bit about Net 7. There's nothing like being around women who see you, who support you, and who genuinely want to see you win. This is what Net 7 is all about. We celebrate each other, we build each other, we rise together. We're not just creating connections, we are creating legacy through wealth, through healing, through purpose, through real sisterhood. This is the nation. This is the movement. This is Net 7. And real talk, that is something that God dropped on my spirit, and that's truly a heart thing. I just want to help Black people. That's it, and that's all. That's my life's mission, is just helping Black folks. Let's get out of this rut. Let them talk, and I love to see it. If y'all go to my page, go to my Facebook page. I am Constance Carter. It's funny because when I talk Black unity, when I talk Black positivity, when I talk Black excellence, the roaches get mad. They be pissed. And so I just like, this is good. I leave it on there. I leave all those negative comments on there because it shows who they really are. And I want us to see it so they can know your enemy is not your brother or your sister. So you need to look to your brother and your sister, because that's the only way we're going to do this. So all the podcasts, putting men against women, that's Willie Lynch, y'all. The rich against the poor, that's Willie Lynch. We're stronger together. So make sure if you are interested in Net 7 Nation, Net 7 Nation, this is just a survey just to gauge your interest. It's no commitment. And then you'll get an email just letting you know kind of what's going on. But I'm telling you, the ladies are excited. And like I said, so again, let me tell you who we got, what we got so far. So we got Houston, Dallas. This is so far, these are the chapters that we're starting off with. Houston, Dallas, Prince George's County, Baltimore. We don't have DC yet. Baltimore, Alabama, Stockton, Sacramento, Bay Area, Atlanta, Chicago, Las Vegas, Philly, Europe, and West Africa. Those are the chapters that we're starting, the inaugural chapters. And so we'll be doing more and more and more, but those are the ones. What is that? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 14 areas that we're going to just hit the ground running. And so even if you're not in one of those areas, we still want you to tap in because we're going to be expanding to all of those areas. So we want to represent. Ooh, I could fly in here. But we want to represent, and we just want to attack it. But you will learn all those things. You're going to learn how to invest in stock. You're going to learn how to invest in real estate. You're going to learn how to increase your network. We're going to teach you different strategies so that you can put your money in places where you'll generate compound interest. It'll be a social place where you can come and save space for you to come and talk to Black women who have the same challenges as you and who want more for themselves and for their families. It's all of that. But that's what Net 7 is also. So I see Maria Millhouse scheduled an appointment with me for Net 7 Collective. So I look forward to seeing you. I don't know when our appointment is, but I saw it. So if you're interested in that, Net 7, the inner circle, the Net 7 Collective, go to bookwithconstance.com. And I'm happy. I talk to you one-on-one, and we'll see, if this is something you want to do and you want to invest your time into. And then I also see, shout out to the folks who bought I get notifications on my phone. So shout out to the people who bought the Living Trust ebook. on makemylivingtrust.com. I'm trying to find the banner. Shout out to those. I listen, y'all are investing in yourselves. And so kudos to you for taking the moment to do this. Not only do I want you to be hearers of the word, but I want you to be doers of the word as well. Terry said I've spoken to several Black women about Net 7 Nation. I recommend it to them. Thank you, Terry. Shout out. So when they apply, tell them to put that Terry recommended them to. Okay. I appreciate you watching. Replays are vital to education too. Yes, lovely JR. And listen, I'll be doing another Bring Your Idea to Life training coming up real soon. So I'll be rolling out announcing next week. So for those of you who want to start businesses, I want to help you to start your business. We need each other, and we are all we got. So let's stick together, y'all. Yes, we are stronger together. Carla said we are unstoppable. Carmen said this channel is so underrated. Yes. Make sure you're following I Am Constance Carter too on I'm not sure which channel you're watching on. We're on Dr. Boyce Watkins' YouTube page, his Black Excellence page. We are on the Fly Nubian Queen YouTube channel, and I Am Constance Carter, my YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribing and following that as well as every place else that I am. I love talks like this, Terrence. They are super important. Yeah. So I love y'all in real life, and I plan on going and having a good time this weekend. And I'm gonna tell y'all all about it on Monday. You know how I like to do. I plan on getting outside and shaking a tail feather. So I'll see you guys on Monday, same bat time, same bat